You hit record on your phone, you say something casual, you press play, instantly your stomach drops. That can't be you. Your voice sounds like a confused toaster had a baby with a foghorn. Meanwhile, literally everyone else thinks you sound fine. Welcome to one of psychology's most hilarious contradictions. Your brain is basically gaslighting you about your own voice, and science has figured out exactly why this cosmic joke exists. Here's the core issue. You've never actually heard your real voice. Sounds dramatic, but it's true. When you talk normally, sound reaches your ears through two different paths. First, sound waves travel through the air, hit your eardrums, and get processed. But simultaneously, vibrations from your vocal cords travel through your skull bones directly to your inner ear. This bone conduction creates a deeper, richer version of your voice that only you hear. So your brain has been feeding you the deluxe edition of your voice your whole life? It's like comparing a concert through speakers versus hearing it live in the venue. Your voice in your head has bass, resonance, and warmth. It sounds authoritative and cool, but when you hear a recording, it's just the thin, tinny, airborne sound. No skull vibrations, no bone conduction magic, just raw audio hitting your eardrums. Your brain isn't just hearing a difference, it's experiencing an identity crisis. Psychologically, your voice is deeply tied to your sense of self. It's how you express personality, authority, and emotion. When recordings don't match your internal voice model, your brain basically says, "That's not me." It's like seeing a photo of yourself and thinking someone's messed with it. The disconnect feels profound because it literally is breaking your brain's voice expectations. Scientists call this the voice recognition mismatch. Your brain has spent years building an acoustic blueprint of what you sound like. Every conversation, every thought spoken aloud, every time you heard yourself through bone conduction, that blueprint is incredibly detailed and emotionally loaded. It's the audio fingerprint of your identity. When a recording plays, your brain compares it to this blueprint. The mismatch creates immediate dissonance and discomfort. There's another layer making this worse, the negativity bias. Your brain is wired to notice problems way more than positives. It's an ancient survival mechanism. Back when humans had to worry about predators, missing one detail could get you eaten. So your brain became a professional at spotting flaws. When you hear your recording, your attention laser focuses on every imperfection. That slight nasal undertone, suddenly it's all you hear. Combined with a voice mismatch, the negativity bias creates a perfect storm of self-criticism. You're not just hearing something unfamiliar. You're hearing something unfamiliar, while your brain highlights every perceived flaw. It's like someone giving you a weird version of yourself and then immediately criticizing it. The recording could actually sound great to everyone else, objectively fine, but your brain is too busy pointing out the 3 nasal syllables to notice. Here's where it gets psychologically interesting. Studies show people consistently rate their own recorded voices as less likable and less competent than identical recordings labeled as being from someone else. Same exact audio. Different person's name attached, suddenly people think it sounds better. This is called the generalized unlikability effect. Your brain isn't just hearing your voice differently, it's judging it more harshly because it knows it's yours. Your personal history with your voice plays a huge role too. Every time someone mocked your voice as a kid, it lodged in your memory. Every criticism, every joke, every "ew, your voice sounds weird today." Your brain creates negative associations with your voice before you even hit record. Then when you hear that recording, all those old feelings come flooding back. It's not just about the acoustic difference anymore. It's psychology layered with trauma. The media doesn't help either. We're constantly exposed to edited, produced, beautiful voices. Podcasters with perfect audio equipment, celebrities whose voices have been refined by professionals, YouTubers who've recorded 50 takes and used the best one. Your brain has been trained to associate good voice with these polished versions. Then you hear yourself on a phone recording with background noise, slight compression, maybe a little echo. Of course it sounds worse, it's not competing fairly. There's also something called the spotlight effect happening here. Your brain assumes everyone notices things about you that they definitely don't. When you hear your voice on a recording, you get hyper aware of every detail. You think everyone listening is dissecting your voice as intensely as you are. In reality, they're probably barely noticing. They're focused on content, meaning, or whether you said something interesting. Your voice is background to them. This psychological phenomenon combines with something called the uncanny valley effect. The uncanny valley is that creepy feeling you get when something is almost familiar, but not quite. It's why some CGI characters feel unsettling. Your voice on a recording exists in that valley. It's close enough to your voice that your brain recognizes it, but it's different enough that it feels off. Not quite right. Eerily familiar, but wrong. Interestingly, this voice hatred has a weird counterpart. You probably sound way better to other people than you think. Your friends aren't cringing when you talk. They're not analyzing your vocal fry or your slight lisp. They're literally just hearing someone they know. Your brain is convinced you sound weird, but everyone else is just experiencing normal human communication. It's like you're the only one at the party who thinks their outfit is terrible. Scientists have tested this extensively. They have people listen to recordings of themselves and strangers. The person listening to their own voice rates it way more harshly. They focus on pitch imperfections, vocal fry, pace. With a stranger's voice, they just evaluate the content. Same voice quality. Different judgments. This proves the hatred is psychological, not acoustic. Your voice isn't actually worse. Your brain just treats it differently because it knows it belongs to you. There's also a primal psychological element here. Throughout human evolution, your voice was your identity. It told others who you were, whether you were trustworthy, whether you had status. Mismatches between how you perceived yourself and how others perceived you would have been genuinely concerning. So your brain created this hyper-vigilant system that obsesses over voice. It's trying to protect you. It's saying, this doesn't match our expectations, investigate immediately. The good news is, this hatred is entirely normal and almost universal. 90% of people hate their recorded voice. Famous musicians, actors, podcasters, with millions of listeners. They all have this reaction initially. It's not a reflection of reality. It's a reflection of how your brain processes familiar versus unfamiliar acoustic information. Knowing this doesn't instantly make recordings feel comfortable, but it does reframe the experience. You're not broken, you're just psychologically normal. Here's something wild. You adapt to your recorded voice over time. If you listen to recordings of yourself frequently enough, your brain gradually updates its expectations. Voice YouTubers, podcasters, people who regularly hear themselves recorded report that the cringe decreases. Your brain slowly accepts this new acoustic blueprint. It integrates it into your sense of self. The weirdness becomes normal. You stop comparing constantly because familiarity breeds acceptance. Not comfort necessarily, but acceptance. This has real implications for confidence and self-esteem. If you're constantly cringing at your voice, you might avoid recording content, making presentations, or speaking publicly. Your psychological voice hatred bleeds into your real-world behavior, but understanding the mechanism helps. You know the recording isn't wrong. Your internal reference point is just different. This knowledge can create psychological distance from the discomfort. It's hard to stress about something when you understand it's just your brain doing weird stuff. Some researchers think this voice phenomenon might be connected to perfectionism and anxiety disorders. People with higher anxiety tend to report greater voice hatred. People with perfectionist tendencies hyperanalyze the acoustic details more. Your psychological relationship with your voice isn't separate from your overall mental patterns. It's actually a window into how your brain handles self-evaluation generally. If you're brutal about your voice, you're probably brutal about a lot of things. The ultimate psychological truth is this: your voice hatred reveals something beautiful about human consciousness. You have a sophisticated mental model of yourself. You compare external feedback constantly against internal expectations. That's not a bug. That's a feature of being self-aware. The cringe just means you're paying attention. So next time you hear a recording and want to delete it immediately, remember, your brain isn't broken. It's just being incredibly, excessively, hilariously human.